listening. Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Students, families, trustees, faculty, staff, alumni, and distinguished guests, we are delighted that you have joined us on this momentous occasion in celebration of the great class of 2021. You have likely noticed we have had to make some changes to commencement this year to ensure safety and proper physical distancing of everyone in attendance in person today. This year we are hosting 2 on-campus commencement ceremonies, both being live streamed for graduates and their families and friends who are not able to be on campus. On behalf of Trinity College, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you all in person and virtually. And I have to make a little bit of a joke. I feel like I'm 12 feet tall. Do I look like I'm 12 feet tall? Because that doesn't happen so often. Another change you will notice this year is that we are not able to host an in-person Parent Senior Tribute Gift Reception. As you lined up before the start of the ceremony, you probably found a brick with your name on it over there. Those inscribed bricks, along with your experiences here, will honor the mark you have made on Trinity as students and represents the success you will experience in the world and the responsibility you have as alumni. We could not leave this special tradition started in 2018 out of our celebration today. So we have a very short video to share with you if you direct your eyes to one of the screens.
You know, it's crazy to realize that that brick is going to stay there forever. You know, this college has been here for almost 200 years, and now I get to be a part of that history.
I think just having your name on the long walk is just a good way to like represent all the hard work we put in these 4 years.
I think that's big. I feel like 10 years from now, if I bring my kids here, you know, they'll get to see that, and if they go here, they probably have their own. So yeah, I think it's very special.
Trinity has been like one of the best experiences and the best schools that I could have gone to. I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
Oh my goodness.
The class of 2021.
I'm a part of the class of 2021.
Class of 2021.
Class of 2021.
Class of 2021.
Class of 21.
Class of 2021.
Thank you, parents and families of the class of 2021, for your support.
It is our distinct honor to recognize the successful completion of your course of study and your admittance to the body of enlightened scholars. I say our honor because indeed it is the entire Trinity community that takes pride in your achievements. Would the members of the college's Board of Trustees, former trustees, faculty, and staff please stand? All of you played a role in the success of today, this year, and in the success of this great class. Thank you for your dedication to Trinity and to the Trinity students. I know it means a great deal to you to be here to see these graduating students begin the next chapter of their Bantam journeys. Thank you. Thank you. Now please welcome Acting Dean of the Faculty and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Vice President for Strategic Initiatives and Innovation, and Professor of Political Science, Sonia Cardenas. I'll leave it.
It is my privilege to present several teaching and research awards to outstanding Trinity faculty. As one of many means of supporting faculty in their professional aspirations and reinforcing Trinity's commitment to the scholarly enterprise, the college in 1984 established the Charles Dana Research Professorship, which is held for 2 years. At the time of their selection, all Dana research professors have compiled an exceptional scholarly record and are at a critical juncture in a research project. I am pleased to announce that Darío Urraque, Professor of History and International Studies, has been selected as the next Dana Research Professor, and that Kifa Hanna, Associate Professor of Language and Culture Studies, and Laura Holt, Associate Professor of Psychology, will be the next Dana Research Associate Professors. I now ask Professors Urraque and Holt to come forward. Professor Urraque is a world-renowned expert on Central America, especially Honduras, where he served as the director of the Honduran Institute of Anthropology and History from 2006 to 2009. In addition to being a prolific scholar, he is a regular expert witness in high-profile trials and a consultant for international organizations. At Trinity since 1990, he is also the co-director of our Center for Caribbean Studies. Professor Holt is a Trinity alumna who joined the psychology department in 2008. She has more than 24 publications, many of them with student co-authors, and she is the principal investigator for a major grant from the National Institutes for Health, National Institute on Drug Abuse. She also won the Hughes Award for Achievement in Teaching in 2011. I'd now like to ask Secretary of the Faculty, Mark Stater, to please come forward.
Thank you, Dean Cardenas, and good afternoon to all of you. At Trinity's first commencement in 1827, following a long-standing medieval tradition, each graduating student was to touch a Bible before being handed his diploma. Unfortunately, things did not go according to plan. In the middle of the ceremony, Bishop Burnell, Trinity's founder and first president, suddenly realized that no one had remembered to bring a Bible. Our ingenious founder immediately substituted this small, leather-bound notebook that contained in his own hand the script of the commencement exercises. This precious book has been touched by members of each graduating class on commencement day since Trinity's first commencement in 1827. On behalf of the faculty, I now present it to you, our president, that you may once again place it in the hands of those who are about to be graduated.
I accept this book held in the faculty's loyal custody, and I gratefully thank all members of the faculty for educating these men and women devotedly in the tradition of Trinity College. Thank you, and thank you. Another commencement tradition is the selection by a committee of students, faculty, and administrators of a member of the graduating class to deliver an address on behalf of their peers. Please welcome this year's speaker, Giovanni Armani Jones. And we have to keep clapping until he comes, so just keep it up. Let's hear it for Giovanni.
You guys look really good today.
You want to push that?
There you go. President Burger Sweeney, trustees, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates, I am honored to be our class's commencement speaker. First, I'd like to thank administration and faculty of Trinity College for their hard work and dedication on our behalf. We weren't sure we'd make it to this important day, but we are here. Before I begin, I want to thank my beautiful mother, who has made tremendous sacrifices to get me here. Without her, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I would also like to thank everyone in the Hartford community who stood behind me and supported me throughout my college career. Now to the Trinity College class of 2021, we have made it today. To being born right down the street at Hartford Hospital and being the first member of my family to graduate from college, I do not take one bit of this moment for granted. I'm a Hartford local. I'm from a city with a rich history, but with an unfair perception. Hartford has always been home for me. It has given me so many authentic relationships and life lessons that I would hold near forever. No, Hartford is not a scary place. It's a beautiful, international, and interconnected city that bears many fruits. Fruit that will later supply so many generations to come. From our city officials, to our educators, to our creative community and small business owners, we all inhabit a community that we have built together. I remember when news got out that 3 Hartford students from Global Communications Academy got a full ride to Trinity College. I remember the day like it was yesterday. Tiana, Kira, and I got on the city bus right after school, and everyone on there, and I mean everyone, wished us well and were so proud of us. You would have thought we were related to everybody on that bus. Even the staff at the Akimi Keto restaurant across the street from our school that we went to every day were so excited for us. And yes, we did get free food that day. What was so important to me was that every little kid in our school and around Hartford shared this moment with us. We were now known as the kids that got into college. In these very moments, we realized the impact that we were making on our city. We also realized the power of community. Our community is so strong and authentic no matter what people may say. Who would have thought 3 students from a Hartford public school would end up at a prestigious institution in their hometown? Who would have thought one of them would become the first Black man from Hartford to be Trinity College's SGA president? I say this all to say, whenever I was down, whenever I wanted to give up, I looked back on that day. It's important to reflect throughout your journey as it reminds us of where we're headed and where we started. As we sit here waiting for our names to be called, I want you all to be reminded of how you got here. I was hoping you could bear with me for a quick mental exercise. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now go back to the day you first stepped foot on this campus as a member of the class of 2021. As you walked around with your loved ones, taking in the beauty of our campus and the future you began to see for yourself, did you get filled with excitement? Did you start to imagine yourself being an athlete or a student leader? Or maybe a barista? Did you imagine the various spaces around campus and all the fun you are about to get ready to have? You might have been eager to finish unpacking your room and getting your parents to leave that day. Now go through a montage of your time here at Trinity. Remember the lows and remember the highs. Something that remains true to all of our experiences was that we were ready to start. We may not have known the end goal, but we were ready to start our educational careers, ready to build upon the people before us, even when there was no foundation, ready to start being agents of change, ready to start challenging ourselves in a holistic way. Whether you majored in the social sciences, STEM, or the arts, we all spent sleepless nights stressing over exams and preparing the foundations of our futures. The foundations that will later bear fruit and lead us to become community leaders, health professionals, educators, artists, and influencers. Now, open your eyes and look at where you are today. We are at the 2021 Trinity College commencement ceremony about to cross this stage. We are here today as representations of strength and resilience. We've not only made it through our college career, but we have also made it through a pandemic. COVID-19 has taken a lot away from us, but has also given us new perspectives and lessons. One lesson being, remain in the moment. Often, we as individuals try to plan 10 years in advance, and within that, we sometimes look over what's happening now. Let's shift our thinking from worry to gratitude. Let's be grateful for still being healthy and alive. As you continue your journey and nourish and protect your highs, be in the moment. No matter how hard it gets, don't let that inner voice stop you from finishing what you started. I want to take this time to give a round of applause to the heroes that have been working endlessly to keep us safe and healthy. From the Chartwell's workers to the ABM team, our first responders, and every community leader working hard to bring this pandemic to an end, we thank you. I also want to give a special thanks to some people that have been integral to my success here. Jennifer Bazile, Takai Howard, Chaplain Trevor, Dr. Davis, Nakia Bryant, Dean Selders, Dean Goodman, Carol DeBess, President Berger Sweeney, VP Joe, the Boulay Archons, Hartford Promise, all of Chartwell's, the whole communications team, Joe Catrino, and the sociology department. You all saw a light in me and brightened it with your guidance. Now, as we end this chapter of our journey, think about where you want to start next. Continue to be invested in the moment and make every second count. Be the change you want to see and reach for the stars, class of 2021, and be all you can be. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gio. The most distinguished honor an academic institution may bestow upon an individual is an honorary degree. Each year, we honor a small number of people, some of them Trinity alumni, who have made enduring contributions to society and to the world through their personal and professional endeavors. In numerous and diverse ways, these individuals exemplify the mission of Trinity College and reflect our values as an educational institution. This year, we will honor the 2020 honorary degree recipients, followed by the 2021 honorary degree recipients that are here. Our first two honorary degree recipients have made a lasting impact on our campus community in Hartford and in the state of Connecticut without ever leaving Trinity's campus. Last year, I'm going to ask them to come up. Both of you celebrated the 50th anniversary of Cine Studio, the classic movie palace you co-founded on Trinity's campus when you were undergraduates in 1970. You remained on campus to manage Cine Studio, first as volunteers and then as Trinity's co-executive directors, transforming it into one of Hartford's longest-running cultural institutions. James, although you retired as co-executive director in 2020, you continue to serve on Cine Studio's board of directors and to train the theater's next projectionist. And Peter, you still work as Cine Studio's executive director today. In recognition of your long-standing contributions to the arts at Trinity College and in the Hartford community, and for your dedication to passing along the love of seeing movies in a theater to new generations, I have the honor of presenting James Hanley and Peter Mcmorris for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, honoris causa. Okay. Congratulations, you got, it only took 51 years. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. I'm so glad you both made it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Our next 2020 honorand made history as one of the first 4 women to receive an undergraduate degree from this college. After graduating from Trinity with a BA in psychology while holding her infant son in her arms, she went on to lobby the Connecticut General Assembly for more than 4 decades on behalf of organizations that advocate for civil rights. In 1981, she established Betty Gallo and Company to represent small nonprofits who could not afford a full-time lobbyist. Upon her retirement in 2018, her firm, renamed Gallo and Robinson, represented 43 clients, all nonprofits and civil rights organizations. In recognition of the accomplishments in her field, I have the honor of presenting Betty Gallo for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations, Betty, so proud. Our first 2021 honorand joined us in person this morning in recognition of his vision and profound influence, as well as his achievements as one of his country's preeminent leaders in international occasion. I had the honor of presenting Philip Geyer for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Our second 2021 honorand was unable to join us in person today. In recognition of her extraordinary accomplishments and leadership in addressing one of our most daunting global challenges, climate change, I had the honor of presenting Catherine Hayhoe for the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Our next 2021 honorary degree recipient joined us in person this morning in recognition of his distinguished career and unending contributions to academia, particularly his steadfast loyalty and service to Trinity College. I had the honor of presenting Philip S. Corey for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. You can read more about our distinguished honorands in the commencement program. This year's commencement address will be delivered by Jeffrey A. Flax. As President and Chief Executive Officer of Hartford Healthcare, you lead and inspire some 33,000 healthcare professionals. You oversee a $4.3 billion enterprise that includes 7 acute care hospitals and a network of interconnected healthcare providers, services, and facilities that together care for more than 1.7 million patients and customers. During the past 15 months, you have provided a steady hand in navigating the unprecedented challenges of a global pandemic. In recognition of your distinguished career and enormous contributions to the field of healthcare, I had the honor of presenting Jeffrey A. Flax for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. And now I present Jeff to you.
President Berger Sweeney, members of the faculty, distinguished guests, proud parents and family members, and most importantly, the class of 2021. It is my great privilege to share this moment with you to receive an honorary degree from one of the world's most renowned liberal arts institutions. I accept this degree not just for myself, but on behalf of the people of Hartford Healthcare. I'm very fortunate to work shoulder to shoulder with passionate, dedicated individuals who save lives and perform miracles each and every day. I see some of that very same dedication and the passion in the faces of the graduating class today, along with some of the nostalgia and the uncertainty. Today we gather for a ceremony that Trinity College has been celebrating for nearly 200 years. Despite this time-honored tradition, today's commencement is unlike any before. For many of us, this is the first large event in more than a year that we've celebrated in person. We have masks, we're socially distanced, and of course, the Purell. And yet, here we are, gathered once again in the heart of this beautiful campus, near the Long Walk, in view of the magnificent chapel. This place is so rich with history, and these rituals link us to the past. Another class of graduates take the traditional steps over the Luther Roosevelt Stone. You receive your degrees, and then you take the big step, the one onto the world stage. Every generation takes this next big step in the face of unique, critical challenges of your time. Nearly a century ago, my grandfather graduated from the City College of New York. He was a Turkish immigrant. He was one of 7 children living in a single-room apartment on New York's Lower East Side in the early 20th century. In the depths of the Great Depression, he worked first as a peddler and then in the garment industry to help support his family. He went to the City College at night. It took him 10 years to finish. His generation was up against the greatest economic downturn in modern history, and then a world war. We call them the greatest generation, but they were not born great. Their greatness came in response to a particular moment in history. This is your moment. Throughout your years at Trinity, you've achieved in the classroom, the studio, the laboratory, and on the athletic fields. You've benefited from the professors, and you've been supported by the college's dedicated staff, and you've performed brilliantly. But your most demanding non-credit class has been Pandemic 101. Again, you did amazingly well. You kept each other safe. You found new ways to stay close and connected. You consoled those troubled by sadness and uncertainty. You did what you could do to protect the nest. While the pandemic goes on in so much of the world, here in the United States, vaccination rates are up and the disease is down. We can imagine the end. We all want nothing more than to return to normal, but we can't. The pandemic has taught us that we can't go back to the way things were, nor should we want to. You're too good, too smart, too wise to go back to normal. You will make the future better than normal. This is your moment. Let me give an example of the old normal from my world working in healthcare. As the virus tore through our state and our nation, it was clear that communities of color were getting hit the hardest. We were relearning an old lesson about intolerable racial disparities in health status and health access. In response, we created new, extensive mobile teams to provide convenient testing and vaccine to our most vulnerable communities. That outreach, this isn't going away with the end of the pandemic. For us, it's our new normal. And along with the other programs and the investments that we've made, this is part of our commitment to stand against racism, inequality, and injustice. There are so many ways that the old normal fell short. Climate change threatens life on our planet. There is economic uncertainty, and our political life seems far, far too politicized and polarized. We need a world that is, in fact, better than normal. This is your moment. You have the intellect and the energy to meet it. I want to offer you 4 practices that have helped me tremendously, and I hope they can support and help you as you begin your next chapter. They are to dream big, to innovate, to lead, and to serve. Start creating the new normal by envisioning it. And when you do, dream big. Whatever your path in life, make it broad, open, and aspirational. Don't limit yourselves. Don't second guess yourselves. Go all in. Not everything you dream will come true, but everything worth doing starts with a dream. My grandfather had the courage. He had the courage as an immigrant raised in poverty to dream of a college education and a middle-class American life. He worked hard and he achieved his goal. But without the dream, no amount of work would have helped him. He allowed himself to be ambitious. Today, ambition has become, in many ways, an unflattering word, but I urge you to take a more wholesome view. I think of ambition as the relentless drive to better ourselves, our communities, and our planet. It's okay to be ambitious. Dream up a new normal, and then have the determination to make it real. This is your moment. Dream big. Thank you. Next, innovate. There can be no new normal without new ideas. You have the capacity to push your imaginations to the limit, and this kind of innovation is essential to our future. Today, we're at the beginning of the end of the pandemic because of vaccines that harness new technology. Imagine in 9 months creating a vaccine that would have the level of effectiveness that these vaccines have had across the world. This is the equivalent in many ways of landing an astronaut on the moon. Think about it. This is human ingenuity. Innovation is your sweet spot because you've been educated here at Trinity College. This school is unique among liberal arts schools. Its campus is the city and the world. And as Trinity College students, you've crossed traditional boundaries. You've made connections between different disciplines. You've not just learned, you have created and you have invented. This is your moment to dream big and innovate. And next, lead wisely. You have been leaders here, and you will be leaders after you leave. This place has been graduating movers and shakers for nearly 200 years, and you are no exception. Bantams are, in fact, bantams are leaders. The idea of leadership is often misunderstood. I have a different concept of it today than I did when I was your age. I thought leaders were solitary individuals, pulling the levers, pushing the buttons, and making it all happen. I now understand that leadership is never a solo act. Arrogance poisons leadership. Humility strengthens it. You have to work together to inspire and to empower teams to accomplish great things. But you know this because you've been practicing this kind of leadership throughout the pandemic. Planning and prediction went out the window as you had to adapt to the ever-changing rules and conditions and hurdles just to stay on track. You wiped down, you masked up, you zoomed in. You did it together, and that's the key. See, I've come to see leadership as the art of thinking collaboratively and creatively about change, stepping up to take the responsibility of making it happen and then getting others to buy in. Great leaders listen to all voices, but especially those too often ignored or silenced. As leaders, be accountable to your teams and responsible to the people you serve. In whatever leadership role you find yourself, please give more than you take. Create more leaders in order to tap into the power of your organizations. And remember that you can't control all of life's variables. You will sometimes fail despite your best efforts. The road to a new normal will be littered with letdowns, misfires, and disappointments. Learn from the unexpected and be resilient. Bounce back stronger and smarter. This is your moment to dream big, innovate, and lead. Finally, in everything you do, serve others. Today we celebrate you, but the scope of your dreams, the power of your ideas, and the influence of your leadership are not just for you alone. If you aspire to create a new normal that is fairer, more equitable, more sustainable than the old one, you must see yourselves as people in service to your families, to your neighborhoods, to your communities, to your faith groups, your towns, your counties, your city, and the world. I've been fortunate to have a career in which I've been able to impact my community in so many ways and to make a difference. Whatever your journey, you will have opportunities to serve. Take those opportunities. Be generous. We will never have too much kindness or compassion. This is your moment. This is your moment to dream big, innovate, lead, and serve. Today I speak to you from my heart, drawing on my life and my personal experiences. I don't pretend that I've given you every tool that you will need. There are no simple solutions to complex problems. The world has a to-do list that is long and urgent. You inherit both the shortcomings and the successes of previous generations. Yes, the world is troubled, but our troubles can be healed. Yes, there are threats, but there is so much more promise. Yes, the tasks ahead may be hard, but when has that stopped you? Know that I believe in you. Know that everyone here today believes and supports you. And please know, we are counting on you. I began by saying the pandemic is coming to an end. There is, as they say, there is a light at the end of this long tunnel. That light is you. This is your moment to shine. This is your moment. Seize it. Thank you for this tremendous honor. You earned it. You did it. Congratulations. Please. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Great speech again. Thank you so much, Jeff, for those inspiring words. You make us all proud to be Bantams in the great city of Hartford. And in just a few minutes, these students will become Trinity alumni, creating their own inspiring stories. And now to the graduates of 2021. Congratulations to all of today's graduates and to your families and loved ones. We are here today to celebrate you, to celebrate all of your triumphs during this past year. Everything that helped us reach this time and this place together. You all know me well enough to know now to expect that I might talk about a book. I've read recently, just a few weeks ago, a book called Transcendent Kingdom, a novel by U.S.A. And I thought of the class of 2021, of what we have all been through and how you have persevered. It might take me a minute to explain, but please bear with me. The novel tells the story of Gifty, a native of Ghana whose family moved to Alabama. Gifty is a PhD candidate in neuroscience at Stanford. You see how I might relate to that piece of it. And her brother, Nana, a gifted high school athlete, found himself addicted to OxyContin after suffering an ankle injury and initially taking the medication to manage the pain. Gifty looked to science for the answers to addiction and mental illness. Toward the end of the book, Gifty notes, "It took me many years to realize that it's hard to live in this world. I don't mean the mechanics of living, because for almost all of us, our hearts will beat, our lungs will take in oxygen without us doing anything at all to tell them to. But to be alive in the world every day as we are given more and more and more to deal with, as the nature of what we can handle changes and our methods of how we handle it change too, that's something of a miracle." As all of us in the Trinity community wove our way through the twists and turns of COVID, trying desperately to keep some semblance of life we had before, we learned just how much we could handle. And as with Gifty, we learned how to adapt. We dug down deep and we adjusted continually and together, even though separated by 6 feet and closed-faced masks. We made it through the tunnel of darkness to the light of a new day. This is the miracle of what we have done this past year. That feeling of being together, that unification, we knew that we were going through these difficult times, but we also knew we were going through these challenges together. We developed new habits. We spent more time at home with our immediate families, working and schooling from home, eating at home. We spent more time alone. My own Thanksgiving with my husband and 2 kids was not the big production that it usually is. It was the 4 of us sitting together, minus the stress of entertaining. In many ways, despite everything going on around us, the stress was reduced and the quality time more precious. I also was extremely grateful for where I was during the pandemic, which is on one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. While at first it was hard to get our heads around the initial lockdown and continuing restrictions, little by little, just as Gifty explains, what we could handle changed, and we started to adjust. My husband Urs and I and our dog Minty grew accustomed to our 45-minute daily walks around campus. We found the time for these strolls, recognizing the importance of nature, the sheer awe and inspiration that beautifully placed flowers can provide when everything around seems a bit dismal. Yet, while we did find glimpses of hope to keep us going, we missed so often and for months hearing students' laughter and even some of your shenanigans. After all, a little college craziness is a part of life. And there was a little less of that on those months that you weren't around on campus. I've heard it said that some of what binds us, some of the stickiness here at Trinity College, is of course the shared experiences of how you engage your mind and engage them with your professors. But it is also about how you connect to other people, how you interact, how you live and breathe and experience the world together. I hope that this time has helped us understand more of our own common connections versus what divides us. And it's not just that people came together in the past year. I found that people were also more forgiving of one another. We all realize that everybody is trying their best. Nobody has a roadmap, and there's no playbook telling us how to get through this. This year, more often than any of my previous 6 years here, people said, thank you. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for reopening. Thank you for trying to bring us all back together. That common humanity that we shared is why it's fitting that we have Jeff Flax, President and CEO of Hartford Healthcare, with us today as our commencement speaker and honorary degree recipient. I see our organizations, Trinity College and Hartford Healthcare, as innovators, as nonprofits who care deeply about humanity. We're both caring for mind and body, albeit in different ways. We both make our home in the heart of Hartford, and we both came to being during the same era. Trinity, as you know, was founded in 1823, and Hartford Hospital, the seed that grew into one of the 7 acute care hospitals in the Hartford healthcare family, was founded in 1854 out of a humanitarian concern for Hartford residents who did not have a general hospital at the time. In challenging times, we need people to serve as reminders of humanity. For me, a few of today's graduates stood out as leaders, as beacons of light at Trinity. Geo Jones, who served as SGA president and on the President's Commission for Trinity's Future. Vanessa Ross, who sat on the task force for campus climate. Pearl Rourke and Jamie Bianca, whom I call my venture women. You 4 are among the greater class of hundreds who have prevailed in your educational endeavors at Trinity and have shown a true entrepreneurial spirit and resilience. I thank you all, graduates, for your extraordinary efforts throughout this trying time. I also thank all of the faculty and staff for all they did to continue our mission despite the innumerable challenges sparked by COVID. And so, graduates, as you all are bound together by the unusual circumstances of the year, the COVID testing center in Ferris, the grab-and-go meals in Mather, masked athletic practices, Zoom trivia, the rainbow of alert level colors. I leave you with a few questions to consider. What effect did these shared experiences have on the bonds you have with one another? During this time of COVID, how did your relationships with others in the Trinity community change? What shared bonds will draw you back 10, 20, or even 50 years from now to reminisce with your classmates about these extraordinary times. Before you walk away from the main quad today, I hope that you'll think of how you successfully adapted, how you learned what you could handle, and how you witnessed what you could handle evolved from day to challenging day. This is the miracle of what we have done this past year. I also hope you'll know in your heart that you are moving on as a stronger person, a more resilient person, and that behind you, you are leaving a Trinity College that is better thanks to your presence. You will remain a handprint on my heart, dear class of 2021. Congratulations to all of you. And now it's the time that you've all been waiting for, the conferral of the degrees.
The candidates for the degree of Masters of Arts will please rise.
Madam President, I present these students who, pending completion of all requirements for the degree of Master of Arts and upon certification by the faculty and by the trustees of Trinity College, will be officially admitted to the earned degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees of the college and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby grant you the degree of Masters. We're doing Masters first? Okay. Masters. On to you. Mine says Bachelor.
Alexander, no. I don't have their names. No, this is the bachelor's list. Yasmin Afi. Laurel Killo. Gabrielle Nelson. James Sargent. David Wilbur Schultz. Alexander Schaefer. Grant Sorensen. Otoniel Soto. Megan Logan. Avery Giorgio. Madam President, this completes the awarding of degrees to our master's candidates.
The candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science will please rise. Rise, please. There you go. Madam President, I present these students who, pending completion of all requirements for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science and upon certification by the faculty and by the trustees of Trinity College, will be officially admitted to the earned degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the trustees of the college and upon recommendation of the faculty, I hereby grant you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights, honors, privileges, powers, and responsibilities of this distinction.
The candidates for degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science will please be seated. May I remind the candidates for bachelor's degrees that as they cross the platform, they should touch the hollow book resting on the class of 1936 podium. Remember that so doing is in no way a trifle on an unearned gift, but rather a cherished honor bestowed upon you by generations of alumni who have passed this way before you over the course of 195 years of Trinity history. The treasure book is both venerable and fragile. Simply touch it and proceed forward. Madam President, I now present the valedictorian and summa cum laude graduate of the class of 2021. Samantha McCarthy. Madam President, I now present the salutatorian and summa cum laude graduate of the class of 2021, Thomas C. McKinney. Katrina Mary Angelucci. Aryaman Adik. Tejas Agnitori. Yosef Azui. Megan Buckley. Okay. So these go last, or? Okay, Jules? Adams. Okay, I think I'm. I'm ready now. George Adams. Mispo Ayapon. William Anderson. Fumika Ando. Shireni Baez. Morgan Adelia Beravella. Olivia Friesta Barden. Ashley Barry. Tiano Suleiman Barry. Maxwell Barsame. Erica M. Bates. Jacob Bellingham. Sydney Elizabeth Bell. Eric Ben Shaldi. Sophie Mayer Berger. Marisa Berner. Abraham Bloom. Robert Tanner McDonald Boyle. Benjamin Brooks. Frankie Brown. Kendall Brown. Sarah Campbell Brown. James Callahan. Kayleen Campbell. Mitchell Carpenter. Blake Matthew Carrick. John Cross Carter. Margaret M. Cassidy. Hambo Cheng. Remy Elizabeth Chester. Ji Yuan Chi. James M. Cristiano. Brandon William Clark. Jamie Clory. Henry Andrews Cormier. Leah Noel Cormier. Taggart Corrieville. James D. Costello. Michael Craig. Blake Crawley. Tajer Harlow Anderson Davis. Andrew Joseph Dawson. Martina D. Robotis. Jason Scott Deck. Christine Grace Dejo. Janira Liz Delgado. William Andres Detweiler. Catherine Divani. Anna Brio Di Prisito. Madeline Grace Dolan. Colleen Donovan. Michael Ziak. Liam Robert Egan. Catherine Jean Epstein. Kevin Thomas Erickson. Lily Ann Everett. Shannon Fine. Eleanor Meacham Farasguna. Josette Honora Fitzgerald. Liam Fitzgerald. Marcela Filibote. Lilian Mary Foote. Jessica Rive Forsman. Julia Francis. Evan Frank. Catherine S. Freeman. Leah Folt. Julian Garcia Sanabria. Sky Angela Joyap Gasasaya. Brooke Giordano. Caroline Elizabeth Gogan. Grace Catherine Gorman. Michael Grande. Nadia Grant. Julia Greenbaum. Catherine Bennett Greer. Ryan Gress. Nigel Gustave. Ryan Haberman. Timothy Hart. Dylan Healy. Madison Wallace Househorn. Linda Tan Ho. Grant Herfner. Lindsay Hollister. Brandon Smith Horan. Kaede Ido. Bailey Pepperell Irvin. Kaylin Jackson. George Jean Cloud. Jessica Gabrielle Jones. Samuel Caney. Nicholas Capsimalis. Eric Shane Kastner. Yasmin H. Afi. Avery Giorgio. I don't have it right? That's the master's. Well, that's the master's. So wait, where does it? Michael Kennedy. All right. Sean Kennedy. All right. That's right. That's right. All right. Stuff in here.
Caroline Mills Curnow. Brendan Kaloy. Stanislav Nisevich. Andrew A. Kozub. Charles Lazzaroni. Brendan Lee. Sun J. Lee. Maria Matea Leje. Noah Lemley. David Longo. Louise Lynn. Perrin McDonald. Maya Lee Machinsky. Elizabeth Healy Mahoney. Patrick Lee Mallet. Sandos Mansur. James Chesterfield Marden. Mallory Constance McArdle. Owen James McGowan. Christopher McKee. Kendall Milligan. Kayla Grace Malofsky. Daniel Jeffrey Middleman. Henry Page Mockridge. Christopher Monis. Devin R. Moore. Hunter Thomas Moore. Allison Morin. John Mullen. Concilia Ndlovu. Helena Isabel Nichols. Annabelle Holland Notbum. Dagoberto Nunez Nieto Jr. Taylor Rose O'Connor. Shamara Patnett. Sawyer Peck. Thomas Peduto. Victoria Peltier. Ella Pepper. Mariana Perez. Thomas Guillemette Perry. Michael Peterson. Ang Pham. James Pizzatola. Liliana Polly Gutierrez. Nicholas Posanelli. Dean Pope. Anthony Patrick Ragazzi III. Shannon Regan. Sean Riley. Winston Rossiter. Lauren Rousseau. Gwenfer Jane Sadie. Jessica Michelle Semblante. Martina Marie Seminara. Catherine Settlemeyer. Andrew Shea. Danny Shea. Pat Sheehan Delaney. Benjamin Lewis Smith. Elizabeth Murphy Sockwell. Kenneth Tyler Somerville. Jean-Vier Sungwa. Sean Spurzell. James Roy Sullivan. Yuzu Sun. Minji Tae. Sydney Rain Themelis. Jenna Thomas. Mara Clancy Thompson. Eric Sven Thronson. Theodore Tierney. Anna Christina Titcomb. Maxwell Tozlowski. Nicole L. Tomkiewicz. Brian Robert Traeger. Luke Tressi. Mikhail Amin Udin. Anyana Husharani Ravishankar. Anas Vadgama. Anne Valbrun. Gianni Antonio Valentini. Madison Noel Vaughn. Michael Ventricelli III. Olivia Weckworth. Timothy Cronin Weinstein. Mark Wesson. Miranda Whalen. Sophia Wilder. Morgan Wilkins. Asa Wint. Emma Verger. Christian Giovanni Zaldivar Morel. Jocelyn Alejandra Zaldivar. Nicole Ella Zane. Yutong Zhu. Megan Buckley. Julia Bodulis. Michael Grandi. Tejas Agihoti. Emilia Kroshevitz. Harrison Gray. William LaRoche. Ryan Lau. Madeline McNulty. Jessica Midledge. Misha Mera. Edward Spencer Mame. Brendan Rocha. James Roche. Hadley Smith. Morgan Smith. Nicholas Smith.
William Bin Jr.
William Wu Jr.
Okay, that's it. Very good.
Yutong Zhu. This completes the list of bachelor's candidates.
So congratulations, to all of the graduates. We are so proud of you. Okay, here to welcome you on behalf of the Trinity College Alumni Association is Eric S. Estes, class of 1991.
Good afternoon. I have to share how really fabulous you all look out there to us up here. And to Gio's point about gratitude, just want to share my gratitude for the fact that we're able to be here in person, in community, to celebrate these amazing graduates. I have the honor of serving as president of the Trinity College Alumni Association. I also have the great honor of congratulating the class of 2021 on behalf of thousands of alums across the world who are cheering you on today and celebrating your incredible accomplishments. I want to offer a couple of thoughts, a thank you, a wish, and a hope in the short time that I have with you. First, I want to thank and congratulate you, your families, your friends, and your loved ones. And I want to invite the graduates to do the same, to thank their families, friends, and loved ones as well. We know that the last part of your Trinity experience has not been what any of us would have expected for you, but that doesn't change how hard you've worked, your outstanding accomplishments inside and outside the classroom, your many contributions to the Trinity and Hartford communities. I also want to recognize your faculty, your administrators, your staff, coaches, administrative support staff, facilities, custodial and dining workers, and many, many more who have supported you during your time at Trinity. In moments like this, it's so important to remember the people who helped you along the way. No one does it alone. Each of you needed support or help at some point during your time here. We stand on the shoulders of others, and success is always a we story and never solely an I story. Second, I wish for you much joy and success as you leave Trinity. Each of you has experienced a sense of loss or disappointment or hurt in some way during the pandemic. It's been a tough time, so I want to encourage you to continue to take care of yourselves and others. How we treat ourselves and each other coming out of the pandemic will be as important as how we did so during the pandemic. Those of us who are fortunate enough to work in higher education have been so impressed with you and the choices that you've made this past year. Trinity would not have been successful without your leadership and care for community. So on behalf of the alumni community, thank you for all of your good efforts. A true measure of one's integrity and strength of values is how one navigates difficult times. And if the recent past is any indication, you're doing great and you're going to be just fine. You've proven your ability to work through unprecedented challenges, to show empathy for others, and to engage in self-care. These lived experiences will serve you well as you go on to make the communities you join after Trinity better and stronger. Finally, you're joining an alumni community that is well connected and engaged in supporting Trinity and the current student experience. If you haven't done so already, you should make sure to join the Bantam Career Network, which provides opportunities and mentorship for young alums and current students. Many of you benefited from this alumni network as students. Now my hope for you as you join the alumni community is for you to remain connected and engaged. There are a lot of opportunities out there for you to benefit from, but also opportunities for you to support current students. You can volunteer for admissions or alumni relations, for example. It's never been more important to give back than it is right now. One of Trinity's greatest strengths is its tremendous alumni network, and all of us welcome you with open arms. So again, thank those who helped you experience joy and care for yourself and others, and stay connected and involved because Trinity needs you. Stay healthy, stay safe, and with a toss of your cap, I welcome you to the alumni community. No, seriously, with a toss of your cap. Congratulations. Now please join the Trinity Pipes in the singing of our alma mater, 'Neath the Elms, and afterwards, Chaplain Buford will deliver the benediction.
So my goal today was to try to impress you with a wonderful word that would show you my intellectual ability to close out our time today. And all I could come up with was a one-syllable word: wow. Wow. Look at who you are now. Wow. Look at how you've grown and matured. Wow, we are gathered here today. Wow, you survived last week. Amen. Wow. And so before we leave, I want you to sit in the wow of this moment. And with a grateful heart, know that it is truly an honor for us to be here. And so the last thing that I'm called to do as chaplain is to offer you a benediction as a blessing. And a blessing is more than a prayer. A blessing is something that someone gives to you that reflects their desires for you and your future. what is your blessing for the graduate that you sit next to? What is your desire for their lives? If you're standing next to them or sitting next to you, grab their hand and whisper the blessing you want for them. Isn't it powerful to be receiving that blessing? And so from all of us who stand up here and all who have been in the halls around here, we offer you our blessing as you go. And yes, you have to go. May your joys outnumber your sorrows. May you engage, connect, and transform the world. May you be surrounded by amazing people. And may you truly bless the world as you have been blessed here at Trinity. And know that you have everything you need, including the blessing to leave this place and know you are well. So those of us who believe in the power of blessing, simply conclude this time by saying amen. We ask that you stand now for the academic recessional.